You walk into a room and something shifts. People look, but they don't always smile. Some suddenly get quiet, others fidget, and a few pretend you're not even there. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not loud, not drawing attention to yourself. But your energy, your presence, it speaks before you do. And what it says to others is something they don't always want to hear. It says, "I see through the illusion." And for those who are still hiding behind it, that's terrifying. If you're a chosen one, you've probably noticed this pattern your whole life. You were the one who couldn't just go along with the crowd. You questioned things others accepted. You felt things others ignored. You saw beauty in the broken, truth in the silence, and light in the middle of the storm. And because of that, people either tried to dim you or distance themselves from you. Not because you're flawed, but because your presence forces them to feel what they've buried. Being a chosen one doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It means you've been handed a deeper responsibility. You were born with a frequency that disrupts the ordinary. You carry a vibration that exposes shadows, both in yourself and in others. And when that light walks into a room, it doesn't ask for permission. It simply reveals what is. That's why your energy scares them. It activates their truth. And not everyone is ready to meet their truth.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Have you ever asked yourself why people misunderstood you so often? Why friends turned to strangers? Why lovers pulled away? Why family didn't always get you? It wasn't because you were too much. It was because you were too real in a world built on masks. You didn't play the role they expected. You didn't lower your frequency to fit in. You didn't betray yourself to be accepted. And that's what makes you different. That's what makes you chosen. In the first stages of awakening, this truth is painful. You start to question yourself. Am I the problem? Why does my presence disrupt things? Why do people either idolize me or reject me? But the more you awaken, the more you realize it was never about you. It was about what you represent. You are a mirror, and mirrors are uncomfortable for those hiding from their reflection. Your energy doesn't attack, it reflects. And reflection is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. There are people who will meet you and feel instantly drawn to you. They won't know why, but they'll feel seen, safe, and understood. These are your soul tribe, the ones who have been waiting for your frequency. But there will also be people who feel instantly threatened. Not because you've harmed them, but because your energy vibrates at a frequency that disrupts their comfort zones. You don't need to shrink for them. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be light. Have you ever noticed how animals, children, and strangers are drawn to you? That's not random. That's resonance. They feel your authenticity, even if they don't understand it. But in contrast, those who are deeply asleep in their own wounds may find your energy overwhelming. Your mere presence reminds them of everything they're avoiding. That's why they act strange. That's why they project. That's why they gossip or pull away. Not because you did something, but because your energy did something inside them. You were born to awaken others, but that awakening doesn't always look like love and light. Sometimes it looks like resistance. Sometimes it looks like chaos. Sometimes your presence will push people into their own shadows, and they may blame you for it. But remember this, you're not here to be their comfort. You're here to be their catalyst. And catalysts don't always get thanked. They get remembered. The truth is, you've always carried a different frequency. Even before you knew what it was, you could walk into a room and feel the unspoken tensions. You knew when someone was lying, even if their words were perfect. You sensed when something was off, even if no one else noticed. That sensitivity wasn't weakness. It was your gift. And now it's your calling. If you've ever felt isolated, misunderstood, or too intense, it's because you weren't meant to be average. Average energy doesn't challenge anyone. But your energy, it breaks patterns. It ends generational cycles. It calls out the truth. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you dangerous to the illusion. Chosen ones don't seek power. They embody it quietly, humbly, but undeniably. And that quiet power is what shakes people. Because it doesn't come from status, appearance, or control. It comes from alignment, from being in tune with your soul, from walking in truth, and truth, when embodied, doesn't need to shout. It simply is. You may not always see the impact you're having, but trust me, people feel it. They may never tell you, but your presence lingers. You plant seeds, you awaken thoughts, you activate change. And even if they walk away from you, they won't walk away from what you sparked inside them. That's the legacy of a chosen one, not fame, not followers, but transformation. But here's the deeper question. Can you carry this energy without turning bitter? Can you keep your heart open, even when it's misunderstood? Can you keep shining, even when people try to dim you? Because that's the real initiation. It's not just about carrying the light. It's about protecting it, nurturing it, living it, even when no one claps for you. Being chosen means being tested. You'll be put in situations that seem unfair. You'll be betrayed by people you helped. You'll be mocked for your wisdom until they need it. But don't let that stop you. Every challenge is sharpening your energy. Every rejection is redirection. Every trial is training. You're being refined, not punished. The world doesn't need more people who fit in. It needs more people who wake it up, who walk into a room and shift the atmosphere, who speak truth without fear, who embody love without conditions. That's you. That's why you've always felt different. And that's why you can't go back to who you used to be. So the next time someone pulls away, misjudges you, or reacts strangely to your presence, remember this: you didn't come here to be understood by everyone. You came here to be a lighthouse, and lighthouses don't chase ships. They stand in their power and shine, no matter the storm. Your energy will scare people who are not ready to change, but it will also heal those who are ready to awaken. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to prove your worth. You just have to be, to walk in your truth, to trust your path, to keep showing up even when it's hard. Because the truth is, you were chosen for this. Your soul knew what it signed up for. And even if your mind forgets, your heart remembers. That's why you're still here, still rising, still shining. And that's why the world is shifting, because of souls like you. Some of the most intense spiritual initiations don't look like rituals or sacred ceremonies. They look like you being misunderstood in a room full of people you love. They look like you walking away from what no longer aligns, even when it breaks your heart. They look like transformation that no one else can see, because it's happening inside you. And that's the thing when you're a chosen one. Most of your journey will be invisible to others, but felt deeply. Not in what you do, but in who you are. And it's your essence, not your actions, that shakes people awake. Have you noticed how people often come to you with their secrets, their pain, their truth they won't tell anyone else? That's not coincidence. That's resonance. Your energy opens something in them. It gives them permission to be real, even if just for a moment. But as soon as they feel that rawness, some pull away because being seen that clearly is terrifying when you're still hiding from yourself. And so you become the one they both run to and run from. And that's a heavy thing to carry unless you understand what it truly means. You're a frequency disruptor. You don't conform to the patterns of collective sleep. You carry codes that awaken, that confront, that activate, and people can feel that, even if they can't explain it. That's why some people seem to have a problem with you before you even speak. Your energy speaks a truth their ego isn't ready to hear. And so they project. They label you as arrogant, weird, too intense, too quiet, too much. But they're not really reacting to you, they're reacting to what you stir inside them. Chosen ones often experience early rejection. Not because you're wrong, but because your energy doesn't match the unconscious environments you were born into. That's not punishment, it's preparation. You were being trained in resistance, in aloneness, in discernment. Every betrayal, every wound, every abandonment carved out space in you for deeper wisdom to grow. And now, that wisdom is your light. That wisdom is your medicine. That wisdom is what makes your energy impossible to ignore. Let's go deeper. Your aura carries memory. Not just from this life, but from all the lifetimes your soul has walked through. And when people stand in front of you, they don't just feel you, they feel that memory. Is that ancientness, that knowing. It reminds them of something buried deep inside themselves, something sacred, something they forgot. And that remembrance is either magnetic or repelling, depending on where they are on their soul journey. So don't take their reaction personally. Take it as confirmation. Have you ever noticed that chaos seems to follow you right before a major breakthrough? That's not bad luck. That's spiritual pressure. Your energy is expanding, and the old structures around you are resisting that change. People may lash out. Systems may fall apart. You may feel like everything is crumbling. But that's the universe clearing the field for your next level. Chosen ones don't rise in comfort. They rise through crucible, through fire, through the breaking of all that is false. There will be moments when your energy feels like a burden, when being different feels like a curse, when all you want is to be normal, to blend in, to be left alone. But you didn't come here to blend. You came here to blaze, and every time you try to dim your light to fit in, you betray your soul. That's why it hurts. That's why you feel empty when you pretend. Because your energy is not meant to be hidden. It's meant to be honored. Here's the paradox. The more you embody your true energy, the more polarizing you become. Some will love you deeply. Others will resist you fiercely. You will trigger both admiration and judgment, devotion and distance. That's the cost of authenticity, but the reward is priceless. You get to live unshackled. You get to love without pretending. You get to walk in alignment with your soul, no matter what the world says. And that is freedom. You must learn to trust your energy, even when no one else does. There will be times when your intuition tells you to walk away, even if the logic says stay. There will be times when your presence stirs tension in a room and your ego wants to shrink. But your soul knows. It knows that your frequency is doing the work, even your words cannot. You don't always need to explain. Sometimes your silence is the sermon. Sometimes your stillness is the sword. Have you ever wondered why you feel so drained after being around certain people or places? That's not you being sensitive. That's your energy field recalibrating after absorbing too much distortion. You must protect it, not out of fear, but out of honor. Your energy is sacred. It's your compass. It's your currency. And not everyone deserves access to it. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors with locks. And you get to choose who holds the key. Being a chosen one means learning how to stand alone, not in loneliness, but in sovereignty. It means finding peace inside your own presence. It means learning to hold space for others without losing yourself. It means walking into rooms where you don't belong, not to prove anything, but to bring a new frequency. You don't need to dominate. You don't need to compete. You simply need to be, fully, authentically, unapologetically. There is a moment in every spiritual journey when you realize that your energy is your message, not your words, not your actions, your vibration. And the more aligned you become, the more powerful that message gets. People will feel it before they understand it. Some will receive it like a blessing. Others will resist it like a storm. But either way, your energy is doing what it came here to do: awaken. The truth is, you are here to raise the frequency of this planet, not by preaching, not by fixing, but by embodying, by being the living proof that it's possible to live in truth, in love, in alignment. Every time you choose soul over ego, presence over performance, truth over convenience, you shift the field. That's why you're here. That's why your energy matters more than you know. So when they stare, when they judge, when they distance themselves, breathe. You're not doing anything wrong. You're doing exactly what you were meant to do. You're being a mirror, a reminder, a disruptor, a light. And some people will have to lose you before they realize what you were. That's not your burden. That's their lesson. But your lesson is to keep shining, to keep rising, to trust that the very energy that scares some people is the same energy that will heal others. You are not too much. You are exactly enough. And the right people, the real ones, they won't just accept your energy. They'll rise with it. There comes a point on this journey where you stop apologizing for your energy and start standing in it. You stop shrinking. You stop softening your truth to make others comfortable. You stop trying to be digestible to those who were never meant to taste the depth of who you are. And in that moment, something shifts, not just in you, but in the field around you. You become a force. Not because you're louder or stronger, but because you're finally aligned. Aligned with the truth of who you've always been. When you walk in alignment, your energy becomes undeniable. It enters the room before you do. It speaks louder than your voice. And it begins to attract everything that resonates with your soul's frequency, opportunities, relationships, synchronicities. But it also repels everything that isn't aligned. That's why people fall away. That's why situations collapse. It's not rejection. It's purification. Your energy is clearing the space for what is real. Being a chosen one means you no longer chase, you magnetize. You don't beg for connection, you embody it. You don't seek validation, you radiate truth. And that truth draws in those who are ready and exposes those who are not. This is the natural order of high-frequency living. The higher you vibrate, the more clear everything becomes. Who's real? Who's hiding? Who's healing? Who's pretending? And that clarity, while liberating, can also be lonely. Let's be honest, the awakening path is lonely at times. Not because you're unloved, but because few are willing to walk fully awake. You start to see through the games, the masks, the illusions. What used to entertain you now feels empty. What used to comfort you now feels like a cage. And the people who once understood you suddenly don't. But that's not failure. That's evolution. You're not leaving them behind, you're just honoring your growth. Can you hold your energy without needing others to affirm it? Can you stand in your truth, even when it makes you the outsider? Can you keep your heart open, even when the world misunderstands it? These are the questions the chosen ones must face. Because your energy is not just a light, it's a test. It will show you who you are when no one is watching. It will show you what you believe when nothing makes sense. It will show you whether you're truly living your truth or just rehearsing it. You were not chosen to be perfect. You were chosen to be real. And realness is raw. Realness is messy. Realness is standing in your storm and still choosing to love. Still choosing to rise. Still choosing to embody the divine even when everything around you feels broken. That's what makes your energy different. Not that it's flawless, but that it's honest. And honesty in a world of illusion is revolutionary. Your presence alone is prophecy. You don't have to say a word to shift someone's awareness. You don't have to force healing. Just by being fully yourself, you activate remembrance in others. You remind them of what they forgot. You awaken what they buried, and that's why your energy scares them. It's not that you're too much, it's that you're too true. And truth is the most terrifying thing to a soul that's been living in denial. But here's the secret: your energy doesn't just scare people. It inspires them. It liberates them. It calls them higher. And even if they resist at first, your presence plants a seed. A seed that may take weeks, years, or lifetimes to bloom. But it will bloom. Because truth cannot be unseen. And once your energy touches someone, a part of them will always remember. Remember this: you are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to be felt, to be witnessed, to be a living embodiment of what it means to walk in alignment with soul. And sometimes that means walking alone. Sometimes that means walking first. But eventually, those who are meant to walk with you will find their way not because you convinced them, but because your energy called them home. You are not here to fit into the old world. You are here to help birth the new one. And that requires courage. Courage to be different. Courage to speak truth. Courage to hold love when others hold fear. Courage to keep showing up, even when your voice shakes, even when your heart breaks, even when your path is invisible to everyone else. And when you doubt your impact, when you question your value, remember this: your energy has already changed more lives than you know. There are people who smile because of you. People who believe in themselves more because of a word you said. People who felt seen for the first time because of your presence. And you may never hear their thank you, but your soul knows. Your soul keeps count. You are the living proof that it's possible to rise without stepping on others, to love without pretending, to walk in power without domination, to be a light without burning out. That's your gift. That's your energy. And that's why it's so needed right now. So let the world feel you. Let them be shaken. Let them be moved. Don't dim. Don't shrink. Don't apologize. The ones who are ready will feel your truth and rise with you. And the ones who aren't, they were never your responsibility. You were chosen to bring frequency where there was noise, stillness where there was chaos, depth where there was surface, and truth where there was illusion. You are not here to fix the world. You are here to embody the frequency that reminds the world how to heal itself. And when it gets hard, and it will return to your center, return to your breath. Return to the knowing that your energy is not a threat, it's a blessing. Even if others can't see it yet, even if they call it something else. You came here with a contract, a mission, a light, and nothing, no rejection, no misunderstanding, no fear can cancel what your soul already signed. So rise, speak, shine, not because they're ready, but because you are. And in doing so, you give others permission to do the same. That's the work of the chosen ones. And that's why your energy is scaring them for a reason.